The progressive movement were people who believed that the problems society faced, such as poverty, violence, greed, and class welfare, could best be addressed by providing good education, a safe environment, and an efficient workplace. Progressives lived mainly in cities, were college-educated, and believed that governments could be a tool for change. They wanted to eliminate corruption in government and address health hazards and improve working conditions. By the beginning of the 20th century, a novel written by one journalist changed the meatpacking industry forever. Upton St. Clair's novel, The Jungle. In 1904, the Meatpackers Union in Chicago went on strike and wanted better wages and better working conditions. The meatpacking companies brought in the strike breakers and replaced for those on strike. The new workers kept the assembly lines running, while the strikers and their families fell into poverty. St. Clair was asked to write a novel about the strike. He went to Chicago, researched the strike, and the conditions suffered by the meatpacking workers. For 7 weeks, he interviewed them and observed the appalling conditions inside the meatpacking plants. Upton St. Clair's novel, The Jungle, tells the story of Rugus Rutkus, an immigrant trying to make its way in a new country where many did not speak English or write English well. Those immigrants worked in the stockyards in the meatpacking district. Rugus Rutkus, the main character in the story, takes a job at Brown's Slaughterhouse, where he finds the working conditions harsh. The author describes the conditions in vivid detail. Long hours, dangerous, and unsanitary working conditions were found in the meatpacking industry. Working conditions were not the only part of the problem. Cramped and filthy living conditions, diseases, and working class poverty caused many families struggles and a hopelessness among many workers. As St. Clair, a self-proclaimed socialist, saw millionaire businessmen were building up huge fortunes by exploiting their huge immigrant workers, he felt the American people missed his point about the book, and he said, "I aimed for the heart and hit them in the stomach." Due to the public outcry, people stopped eating meat, and President Roosevelt was also disturbed by what he read in The Jungle. It was too dark in these storage places to see, but a man could run his hand over the piles of meat and sweep off handfuls of dry dung of rats. The packers would put poisoned bread out for them. They would all die, and then the rats, the bread, and the meat would all go into the hoppers together. Upton St. Clair, The Jungle, 1906. The president sought to seek the facts of the meatpacking industry with a surprise visit to the meatpacking faculties, from Charles Neal to James Reynolds. Their report confirmed many issues in St. Clair's novel. Publication of Neal Reynolds' report was disastrous for the meatpacking industry. In response to both The Jungle and Neal Reynolds' report, Congress passed the Federal Meat Inspection Act in June 1906. The Meat Inspection Act was the beginning of the federal regulations of the country's meat, established sanitary requirements and the right to inspect and monitor slaughtering and processed operations. One novel changed the way we process meat forever.